At this place in history, we're at Battery Park in Burlington with Steve Perkins, the Executive Director of the Vermont Historical Society. We should note, though, Steve, the park itself is not what brings us here this week.
No, Mike, the subject is actually the Burlington waterfront. And I know we've done a number of segments on the waterfront, but one of the things we haven't really touched on is the 19th century kind of industrial function of Burlington. If we go back 150 years, instead of seeing people jogging, you would have seen piles and piles and piles of lumber.
Quite a few different types of vessels in the water besides just the pleasure craft that are being floated into the water for the season right about now.
Yeah, I mean, you touch on a very interesting point. At that time, this was the main highway. It really was an artery of commerce for the entire Northeast. I mean, we're talking goods that came out of the Midwest and out of Canada and into the St. Lawrence Seaway, and they could then come down Lake Champlain, especially when the Champlain Canal opened, and that connected the Lake Champlain corridor all the way to the port of New York. As a natural harbor, it's actually not great. The storms roll across the broad lake, and without that breakwater, it wouldn't be that great. What we now know as the Army Corps of Engineers started building one in the 1830s, 1837 to be exact, and it was extended over the years. Now, of course, when you have a breakwater, you need lights, so you know where the ends are. And so over time, various types of lighting was added to it, including small lighthouses on either end of the breakwater. And of course, lighthouses had to be kept local.
No electricity. Had to
No
be lit by
electricity.
oil.
Somebody had to go out, service those lamps. So a prefab keeper's house was ordered for Buffalo. It got shipped to Burlington instead. Imagine how that happened.
Yeah.
And so they got in touch with the Army Corps, what became the Army Corps of Engineers, and said, yeah, you can keep it. And they put it out there in the middle on the breakwater. Well, no one really wanted to stay in the thing. So it was installed in 1874. You can see it on the 1877 bird's eye map of Burlington. No one ever lived in it. So by 1884, they said, well, we're not going to maintain a house that no one's going to live in, so they sold it at auction. It got moved back off the breakwater on Blodgett Street. The building still stands. So it's the man-made structures that turned it into, in the 1870s, the third largest lumber port in the world. It was amazing. So many piles of lumber that even the paths between them received road names. And so we've got images, and you can see just piles and piles of lumber. Even that 1877 map shows piles of lumber in a bird's eye view. The lumber industry started to decline really by the turn of the century.
And what kinds of resources might people be able to find with all of you at the Historical Society should they want to read up?
So many materials. The waterfront, this part of Burlington is very well documented. We have hundreds of photographs, lots of great publications that you can check out. So come visit us at the History Center and you can look at those photographs. But you can also go to your local library. Chittenden County Historical Society has produced a couple of walking tours.
At one point, only Chicago and Albany, New York were busier lumber ports at this place in history.
Local news that matters on Fox 44 News.